A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to Primetime News. We're coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst Christmas Centre here at Echelon Square, Colombo.
Well, hello there. A very good evening. I'm Joel Outscoon. Well, just like Azra mentioned, here we are today at the Echelon Square bringing you the news that matters. Well, with that being said, if you just take a look at this beautiful surrounding, it's just amazing. Well, if you feel that you're missing out, I think it's right about time that you come down to the Echelon Square and take a first-hand experience of how all this is done, especially how the news is telecast, because you get to watch us live and direct as we telecast the news. And Azra, what comes to your mind when you talk about the season of Christmas?
I think
the lights,
joy, happiness, and definitely the lights and the decoration.
Oh, that's right. We spoke about decorations. It's because if you just take a look outside, the place is just lit and it looks amazing. So if you want to get all those best pictures out during this season, I think this is the place to be, because all those pictures can be captured, and especially those selfies. So we got a compact bulletin right here, right now, just for you. So first and foremost, let's start off with a look at the headlines.
Ranil Wickremesinghe's parliamentary seat challenged at the Court of Appeal. Police investigate Saman Ratnapriya's statement on the President and former President. President requested to take prompt action on the Singapore FTA.
On to our lead story now. A petition has been filed with the Court of Appeal seeking a writ of quo warranto to prevent Ranil Wickremesinghe from functioning as a parliamentarian, citing he is a shareholder of a private company that entered into agreements with government institutions.
The petition was filed by Colombo Municipal Councillor Sharmila Gonawala. The petition claims Ranil Wickremesinghe is a shareholder of Lake House Printers and Publishers, and according to the company's annual reports, he is the 9th largest shareholder from 2014 to 2018. It adds the company had printed checkbooks, employee IDs, credit and debit cards for Bank of Ceylon, People's Bank and National Savings Bank, which were established as public enterprises by parliamentary acts. The petition goes on to note Ranil Wickremesinghe from 2014 to 2018 had personally enjoyed dividends from these contracts. The petition cites that Ranil Wickremesinghe can no longer hold a position in Parliament according to the Section 91 subsection 1E of the Constitution. Sharmila Gonawala in the petition requests the Court of Appeal to issue an interim injunction order preventing Wickremesinghe from functioning as an MP until the petition is taken up and concluded. 5 individuals, including Ranil Wickremesinghe, Akila Viraj Karyawasam and General Secretary of Parliament Dhammika Dasanayake, have been named as respondents.
A similar case was filed against Rajitha Senaratne and he lost his parliamentary position. What we say is that Ranil Wickremesinghe has reached into agreements with a reputed government sector entity and obtained financial benefit without revealing it to the country. So we challenge his parliamentary position. We also challenge his right to vote in parliament. We will tell you why. I can't reveal a lot at this time without a lawyer.
Well, now we're in a backdrop, especially in Sri Lanka. The dissolution of Parliament has been temporarily suspended. That is after the matter was questioned before the country's judiciary. A similar situation was reported from India. Now, the Indian Apex Court delivered its verdict on an application filed against the dissolution of an elected chamber in Jammu, Kashmir.
The Supreme Court dismissed a petition challenging the Jammu and Kashmir governor Satya Pal Malik's decision to dissolve the state assembly, saying there was no merit in the pleas filed by former BJP legislator Gagan Bhagat. A bench comprising of Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi and Justice S.K. Kaul said, quote, "We are not inclined to interfere." Unquote. Senior counsel Jaideep Gupta, appearing for the ex-Bharatiya Janata Party lawmaker Bhagat, said that Malik dissolved the assembly even though there were 2 letters before him staking claim to form the government. Gupta referred to an earlier judgment of the top court which said that a governor should have made every effort to examine if a government can be formed before exercising the extreme option of dissolving the elected assembly. The state assembly, which was in suspended animation, was abruptly dissolved by Malik on the 22nd of November, hours after the People's Democratic Party staked a claim to form a government with the backing of arch-rival National Conference and the Congress with the support of 56 legislators in the 87-member assembly. PDP President Mehbooba Mufti wrote to the governor that her party, which has 29 MLAs, was backed by the NC and Congress with 15 and 12 legislators respectively. This was followed by another bid from the People's Conference led by Sergeant Lone, saying it had the support of 25 legislators belonging to the Bharatiya Janata Party and more than 18 others. The dissolution was announced by Malik in a communique released by the Raj Bhavan. The State Assembly's tenure was till October 2020. The 6th-month tenure of the governor's rule ends on the 18th of December. This will be followed by the President's rule.
In growing signs of questioning authorities by professionals and other members of public, head of India's central bank resigned in the midst of bruising battle with the Prime Minister over the institution's independence and the direction of the country's financial sector.
Urjit Patel's exit comes just days ahead of what was likely to be a contentious meeting of the Reserve Bank of India's governing board, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi's demands for looser financial and monetary policies were scheduled for debate. Tensions between the RBI and Modi have been rising for months over the central bank's hawkish monetary policy, use of its mounting reserves, and the tough measures taken to clean up bad loans at India's state-run bank. At present, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his right-wing BJP party appears to be facing a political setback, with major swings against it in 3 key state elections. In a statement on the RBI website, Patel cited quote-unquote personal reasons for his decision to step down. He is the second central bank chief in a row to depart unceremoniously, having taken over in September 2016 after the government failed to extend Raghuram Rajan's tenure. Patel's departure is effective immediately. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka's former governor of the central bank Arjuna Mahendran still remains at large.
Well, this is Primetime News. We are come to live and direct from the Echelon Square in Colombo. Following in news still here at home, now during the past few days, the budgets presented for the year 2019 by several Pradeshya Sabhas have been defeated. However, the budget of the Vattala Pradeshya Sabha for the next year was presented once again today, following a defeat last week.
The budget of the Vattala Pradeshya Sabha for 2019 was defeated by 3 votes on the 4th of December last week. The budget was presented once again today, and the chairman of the Vattala Pradeshya Sabha, Tyagaratna Alvis, presented amendments to the budget. The amendments have now been included. If any amendment or information has been omitted, there may be opposition. The budget, along with its amendments, must be presented to and approved by the council. In protest against the budget proposal, the opposition demanded for a vote to be held. Thereafter, the chairman and MPs of the ruling party left the premises, stating that the budget for the Pradeshya Sabha was approved. Three UNP MPs remain seated and did not express their opposition. The budget has been approved with a majority. Criticizing this situation, MPs of the opposition handed over a petition bearing 19 signatures to the secretary of the Pradeshya Sabha.
I cannot state whether it's legal or not. The chairman stated that he has presented the budget adhering to the rules and regulations of the Budget Act. He added that he will agree to all amendments. Accordingly, the chairman said that the budget has been approved.
Meanwhile, the budget of the Batticloman Pradesh Sabha for 2019 was defeated by 4 votes today.
A protest was staged opposing the appointments made in the Sabaragamu province even after the Provincial Council has been dissolved.
A group of former UPFA MPs and provincial councillors arrived at the Sabaragamu Provincial Council demanding the officials to stop providing new employment opportunities while violating the rules and regulations. The protesters handed over an epistle requesting to stop providing jobs as the governor was not present. I think this is done by the governor to fulfill what she wants. I say that these officials were forced to this. We don't have a problem with providing jobs, but it has to be done in a fair manner. We will accept it only if they do it right. We have issued a letter of demand through our lawyers. We are also hoping to bring those who issued the appointment letters before the law. When inquired, Governor of the Sabaragamu province, Niluka Ekanayaka, said the appointments are being made in a legal manner without being biased towards a party.
Now, a number of groups have made a request from the President to make a decision on the Sri Lanka-Singapore Free Trade Agreement.
The report compiled by a committee chaired by Professor W.D. Lakshman on the Sri Lanka-Singapore Free Trade Agreement was presented to the President yesterday. The report highlights that there are a number of provisions in the agreement that are illegal. The report further notes that the agreement is flawed and includes a number of clauses detrimental to Sri Lanka. The committee had recommended for the agreement to be reconsidered. We hope that the people who secretly worked for this deal are revealed. The illegal acts committed by them during this agreement must be revealed to the country. The President and the government should take strict legal action against all these officials who betrayed the country. As the Government Medical Officers Association, we are not at all ready to see this report being thrown away. So we believe that all facts in this report that the people must know about should be revealed. The final conclusion of the report that was presented is that the Singapore FTA is detrimental to the country. The President has said that he will present a report of an expert committee this week after examining the report. The final date for the agreement to be amended is the 21st of January. I had prepared a cabinet paper on getting a court order on whether or not we should pull out from the agreement and on the manner in which we should act on this, and the risks involved was prepared and signed by me before I was interdicted. However, unfortunately, convening of cabinet has been banned by court. So I don't understand. If I'm not allowed to discuss this in cabinet, what should I do? What should the country do? I would like to leave this question to the general public.
Moving on to more local news, police have launched an investigation over a statement made by Samaratna Priya, a representative of the Puravasi Balaya organization.
Issuing a communique, the police headquarters stated that investigations were launched based on a complaint lodged by General Secretary of the Pivithuruhela Urumeya Upul Nishanta. The complaint states that Saman Ratna Priya had made a statement in a manner that will cause a conflict within the country and threaten national security. Sometimes we are led to suspect as to if Saman Ratna Priya's statement is part of the attempted assassination of President Sirisena. So we directed the attention of the police on that matter as well. Currently, the case B8816/4/18 has been filed over the matter. Facts have been presented as well. The complaint made by Upul Nishanta states that the statement was made by Saman Ratna Priya on the 6th of this month. IGP Pujit Jayasundara handed over the complaint to the Special Investigations Unit at the police headquarters. The police media spokesperson said that a lengthy statement was recorded from the complainant. He added that facts were presented to the Colombo Magistrates Court under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the Penal Code.
DIG Nalaka De Silva and the Indian national who were arrested over an alleged plot to assassinate several high-profile personalities, including President Maithripala Sirisena, were produced before courts today.
When the case was taken up for hearing today, Fort Magistrate Ranga Disanayaka ordered for the Indian national, who is the first suspect of the case, to be admitted to the prison's hospital. As the Criminal Investigations Department was not present in court today, the magistrate issued notices for them to attend the court hearing tomorrow. The application for bail filed on behalf of the DIG was postponed to the 19th of December and was further remanded to that day. Mahinda Amaravira attended an agricultural exhibition in Colombo today. Now, speaking at the event, he commented on the current political situation in the country.
We are awaiting a decision and looking at what will happen. A lot of people are asking us what will happen. We respond by asking them the same question. We don't see anyone who should be held responsible. The court has suspended certain activities indefinitely, so we can't tell you who should be held responsible. Luckily, tenders for our fertilizers received cabinet approval. However, there have been some issues in a few areas that did not receive sufficient fertilizer. If these decisions were not taken in time, the farmers would have had to face many hardships. Similarly, with regard to the purchase of medicine, I know every week cabinet approval is sought to purchase medicine. But now, as the cabinet does not convene, there is a risk of a medicine shortage in the country.
Well, Speaker Karu Jayasuriya expressed these views that was following the distribution of educational equipment and scholarships to school children.
All the children present here today would have been very unhappy if their parents were employed at this sacred place. Now you might wonder and question as to how someone can bring chili powder and how chairs can be broken at such a sacred place. I must say there are instances where there have been murders and bloodshed in temples and shrines. Despite all of this, the Parliament of Sri Lanka remains to be one of the most prestigious institutions in the island and has been accepted as an exemplary parliament by the global community. I may be criticized for saying this, but this is all a part of democracy. I know certain politicians who shed tears when chairs and valuable furniture were broken in Parliament. As the chairperson among the SAARC member countries, we will never allow the acceptance secured by the Sri Lankan Parliament to be taken away and destroyed. Parliament will convene at 1 tomorrow under the auspices of the Speaker. Sergeant-at-Arms in Parliament Narendra Fernando said the public gallery and the special invitees gallery will be out of bounds tomorrow as well. He added the special security program will be in place at the parliamentary premises and surrounding areas. According to the Sergeant-at-Arms, a show of confidence motion will be presented as per the agenda fixed for tomorrow. The committee appointed to look into the brawls that took place inside Parliament will meet for the first time tomorrow. Committee Chairperson Deputy Speaker Ananda Kumarasiri said the CCTV footage of the brawls have been handed over to the committee. He added that an estimate of the damage caused by these brawls will be presented to the committee tomorrow. A senior police officer involved in the investigations will also be summoned before the committee tomorrow.
President Maithripala Sirisena has given out instructions to respective bodies to ensure consumers are able to purchase essential food items at a reasonable price and ensure there is no shortage during this festive season. According to a statement from the President's Media Division, a meeting chaired by the President took place today to discuss the cost of living during this festive season. Moving on to more local news, the Voice for Justice organization convened a media briefing today.
නීති ආධිපත්‍ය අපි දකුණු ආසියාවේ පළවෙනි තැනේ ඉඳලා තුන්වෙනි තැනට වැටුණා. ආර්ථික නිදහස පළවෙනි තැනේ ඉඳලා දෙවෙනි තැනට වැටුණා.
We fell from first to third in the rule of law index in South Asia. We fell from first to second in economic freedom in South Asia. In the ease of doing business index, we were first in 2014 and fell to the fourth. We are still in the same position only on Human Development Index. On the Index of International Competitiveness, we fell from second to third in 2018. The same was on the Corruption Perception Index. So on every front, our country's economy was collapsing. In a span of 4 years, the country's debt shot up from 7 trillion to 12 trillion. We spoke of all of this, but luckily, the president changed this government. When the government was changed, there were things that we should have done. Economic activities cannot be done instantly or overnight. We said that if these are to be done, there must be a stable government. We need to go for an election, and any government elected through this election can remake these economic policies in a manner that suits the country. I would like to remind you that if this is not done, the country will fall victim to a massive economic crisis.
එහෙම නොවුනොත් ඉතා දැවැන්ත අර්බුදයකට අපේ රටේ ආර්ථිකය ගොදුරු වෙනවයි කියන එක මම අද මතක් කරලා දෙන්න.
Now during this media briefing, the former central bank governor also responded to the questions raised by the journalists.
Mr. Kamral, recently the central bank governor, the current one, has challenged the rating agencies' releases. Actually, is it a wise move for a central bank governor to challenge 3 rating agencies? You being a former governor, what is your opinion?
I think if he has any position to take with regard to the rating agencies also, he must do that. And I think he did the right thing by setting his position also to the rating agencies. because sometimes rating agencies could be influenced by other factors. There was a challenge that was made by the central bank, and I commend Dr. Kumaraswamy for doing that, because I think he did the right thing by challenging that, setting out the position of the central bank, setting out the position of the government, and that was natural and that was to be expected, and I am happy that he did so.
Well, leader of the National Unity Alliance, Asad Saleh, expressed the following views in Colombo today.
A report has been released now. The Bond Commission is now preparing to release the Tamil and Sinhalese translations of the report. This will take time. On the other hand, the indictments are ready. The President will ask to file a case now. Lasanta's indictments are also ready. So what are they waiting for? Why have they not filed cases? And after that, it will be the responsibility of the courts. They will become independent. There is a government that recovered the body, but there is also another government that did not give a verdict. The problem the political parties have is with who the prime ministerial candidate is. The crisis is not going in for the presidential election. A crisis is now in parliament. If you know that you will not be getting a position, you should pass it on to someone from your own party and resolve this issue.
Now convening another media briefing today, leader of the Janasita Peramuna, Venerable Battaramulle Silratnathero, expressed the following views.
The President is trying his best to work with the state officials, but they cannot take action on decisive matters. Politicians have left the general public stranded. The politicians who were supposed to solve the people's problems are only speaking of their problems and discussing on how they could secure their power. They are boasting before the media. The people have been left completely helpless.
Well, it's now time to cross over for some news from courts this evening.
The case filed against the former chairman of the Reconstruction and Development Agency, or RADA, Tiran Alas, and 3 others was taken up before Colombo High Court Judge Gihan Kulatunga today. Today, court issued a warning on a personal secretary of former Minister Partli Champika Ranawaka and notified him to appear in court on the 11th of January to provide evidence. The Criminal Investigations Department informed court today that investigations over the abduction and assault on journalist Keith Noya have concluded. The CID informed the additional magistrate of Mount Lavinia as the investigations are over. The case filed has been directed to the Attorney General for instructions. The case will be called up again on the 11th of June 2019. Chintaka Varna Kumara from the Sri Lanka Army Gamunu Watch Infantry Regiment, arrested by the CID over the assassination of Lakbima journalist Sampath Lakmal de Silva, was remanded until the 20th of December. Journalist Sampath Lakmal de Silva was gunned down on the 2nd of July 2006. The suspect was produced before Mount Lavinia Additional Magistrate Lochana Abe Vikrama today. The Criminal Investigations Department informed court that another suspect, the name of Niroshan Anthony, who was a lieutenant of the Gamunu Watch, is currently overseas. An order was issued on the Controller of Immigration and Immigration to detain the suspect when he returns to the country so he can be arrested. The case will be taken up again on the 20th of this month.
Sports First Allianz Platinum Awards 2018.
My favorite sportswoman is Alison Felix, and that is because she has achieved so much in life. I'm ready to be victorious too. 400 meters is my favorite event. My aim is to run faster than everyone else and win. My other target is to win the Platinum Awards. I am Nirmali Madhishika.
Mama Nirmali Madhishika.
Sports First Allianz Platinum Awards 2018.
In some good news now, the prestigious Jana Abhimani Honorary Award ceremony was held in Colombo today. Many artists and journalists have contributed to their relevant fields were honored at the event. Newsfirst Bernardine Jai Singha also received an honorary award for her contribution as a social activist and a television presenter. With that, moving on to some more local news, an event was held yesterday to mark the United Nations regional launch of the Asia and the Pacific State of the World's Volunteerism Report 2018.
The event saw the attendance of many distinguished guests, including Professor Siri Hettige, Emeritus Professor of the University of Colombo.
Volunteerism is of course universal, and people of all ages and backgrounds volunteer. Women are often the architects of community resilience, and empowering women is critical to ensuring that community-led disaster responses are strong and effective. In 2018, people are just not sitting there and waiting for solutions to come to them. And with the right conditions and environment, the human capital that all types of people can contribute, whether they are women or men, young or old, is there to be harnessed for the greater good.
Not only in Sri Lanka, but globally, the depth and breadth of the contribution of volunteers to reaching all 17 Sustainable Development Goals is unparalleled. Volunteerism is universal and is often the last line of defense or the first line of prevention in times of uncertainty. Volunteer groups must be provided with adequate support and resources so that volunteers can step up from coping with shocks to preventing the shocks. More volunteering opportunities should be provided, including to those who prefer to work informally, moving away from piecemeal volunteering projects.
A panel discussion on the findings of the report, moderated by Dr. Vinya Aryaratna, the General Secretary of Sarvodaya, followed by a question and answer session, was also held after the launch.
We're bringing our news bulletins live from the Newsfirst Christmas Center here at the Echelon Square, Colombo.
Well, that's right, and I think it's time for us to leave you. But before that, there is so much that we would like to talk about the Echelon Square, because this place is just amazing. And also to see you right in front of us, our loyal listeners watching us, and also those who are passing by, stopping to take this first-hand experience of how the news is actually done. It's just amazing. So if you feel that you too need to be a part of this, just come down, say hi, and you could also watch us how the news has been presented and also take a look at this beautiful environment. Well, Azra, once again, I'm just going to talk more about how beautiful it looks, because it's the best place for the photographs.
But like you rightly mentioned, the speciality is that you can watch and witness the live bulletin being telecasted live on TV. With that, we wrap this edition of Primetime News. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Azra.
And I'm Joel Outscoon. Thank you for stopping by. Take care. Good night.